Members, this meeting is being recorded for the publication on Thatcham Town Council's YouTube channel. Item 1. Do we have any apologies for that, please?
Councillors Susan Adamantos and Simon Pike.
Do we have any declarations of interest on item actually on the agenda this evening? Yeah, no members indicated. Item 3, little 1. Can members confirm that is correct? I'll report they're accurate. I have a seconder. All those in favour? Okay. Item little 2, is there any feedback on any of the matters arising from previous meetings that you're aware of? Okay, thank you. So, at this point, I would like to make an 3 little 3, which is a visual presentation of long service badges. John, Mr. Paul, thank you for your fantastic service to the community and to the town council. Yeah. That's what you put your sunglasses on. And of course to Jeremy Cotton. Again, same thing for 10 years service. Sorry it took so long to get the badges. I think you. Right. Well, thank you very much for that. Moving on to item.
We are at month 5 now. Percentage wise, we're looking around about the 41.2%. So there's concern within the budget report, and everything is targets for concern at this stage. So happy to scroll through the report and answer anything.
Absolutely fantastic. Shall we go through page 1, 2, 3, etc.? If any members have any concerns, would you use the hand and we through it? Items on page 1, if anybody has problem, don't feel obligated. At page 2. Page 3. Moving on to 4. And page. There is more to come. Items on page 6. And finally, page 7. Questions? No. Let me just flip to the front of the agenda for that one. So we have to receive and note, so we don't need to vote.
It's also receive that.
And
it was noted.
Thank you. Moving on to item number 5, the environmental working change. Receive and consider and adopt the minutes of environmental working. That's just been circulated at least 5 days ago. Any issues?
Yes, happy to see it's making some progress. It's a long-term desire, but we've made the first step.
Absolutely.
Chairman, I take it that Jeremy speaks about specifically about the legislative conduct. I second those points. And I think with Stuart Corley, you really do have somebody who can have
Very enthusiastic. Is there anything that you would like to bring to me? To receive and do we vote to adopt them?
Yes.
Okay, I propose from the chair is seconding. And all those in favour of accepting, please raise their hands. There's no one against, that's unanimous. Thank you. Item 6, Lawson Road Cemetery Baby Memorial.
You mean that's London?
Sorry, yes.
Sorry. Oh, no. Yes.
That's a Freudian slip. My apologies. No.
Chairman, I'm sure all of you are aware of the baby memorial garden that's proposed for the cemetery. And there was also opportunity of a site visit last week, and the background is all here, but I think you probably have been made aware of that on multiple occasions already. So all the finance is now in place, managed to raise some significant figures, matched by Greenpeace and by the bid exchange. And the money was raised by the and the final amount was agreed by the Finance and General Purposes Committee, so we now have all the funding in place. It's now just up to this committee as the committee with the London Road Cemetery to give that final sign off ahead, and then work will commence in January.
I'm just to say, and to thank the staff for all their.
Thank you. Absolutely. And of course, the hard work and dedication of making sure that it didn't wither on the vine over the last 10 or 12 years, because it's been a slog. It sometimes feels like local government can take a long time to do stuff, but
Had the pandemic in the meantime.
and yet it absolutely is. But as a new member of the council when this came out this year, most members thought it was a very good idea, and it's good use of the sort of services that we provide. So can we thank members, thank the staff for their help in moving this forward, and particularly it helps when officers are very keen on a particular subject as well, which is, you know, and of course this is a very sensitive area for members of our community. So, I propose that we move forward with this and we start the work as soon as possible. I believe work starts sometime in January. Shouldn't take too long.
Nice.
But I think it'll be one of these things that will blossom as time. So I'm quite happy to propose that we move forward with this. Do I have a second, please? Mike. Oh, thank you very much, Mike. All those in favour, please raise your hands. That's unanimous. Thank you, members. That was really good. Moving on to KENNET installation of posts.
It was informed the committee, as many of you will recall the message over the summer holidays, that we had the opportunity to install these goalposts. It was a request that came from a survey of young people that West Berkshire Council took with Berkshire Youth. And we applied to one of the West Berkshire Council funds and were successful. So they have now been installed and are being used. So it's just formally note that.
Yeah, it's normally such an.
I've seen models don't print. Used. I think it's such a simple thing to make such a major. It's another excellent project.
Yeah, and it's normally the other way around. Members sort of come up behind you, and then Led by a lot of officers, and members went, yeah, absolutely, let's do this. A little bit of the wrong way round for normal members. The normal process. Sometimes you just have to be a little bit fast on your feet, and this was fast on your feet. You get it, football, calm.
That's a bit of an goal, that one.
I declare it. But we note that one and welcome the new addition to the facilities in that particular station. Moving on to item 8. Again.
Literally hot off the press, this one, which is why it isn't in your pack, I'm afraid, but the +5, this, the point finally came through. Otherwise, I thought we would be deferring. But on the council wish list, there is a desire to install an external water fountain supplied from the public toilet. Two options. So this report is from James, our place manager. Two options are either on the front of the building or in the rear. James is recommending here because it's see entirely
Thoughts, yes.
So one here, obviously the drinking right here and bottle here, and an installation is one of the two. The one that James is recommending is this one. Same really, but water box can be filled here or just drinking here. If it was this one, because it's a smoother design, it's potentially less opportunity for vandalism. Likely a little bit more that one at 1219, but here's James. Summary.
And then one.
Thank you, Chair. Yeah, I mean, obviously, I think this is an essential facility for the town centre. Particularly, I think, in our drive to become more sustainable, we should certainly be moving away from encouraging people going in disposable stick bottles of water. A lot of people now carry their own vessels with them. Have a facility like this easily available in the town centre for them to refill. I think it's a step forward. Very pleased to see this being put forward.
I'll read two comments. The first comment is probably the more mundane, and that is that I think that second is the one that I want to see. The location, I suggest that we leave to the police manager where in the event it is easiest, most cost effective to put it in. It might be the one site is in the other because the water is there in the wrong place or something like that. So those points. The next mundane point would be the chairman of the town centre committee who's been struggling, walking around and round and round, and think what can we actually do with the town centre and how do we improve it and how do we make it better. Never ever even flitted across my mind. Definitely think it's the right thing to go ahead. Preference would be because with the second document allow the to
And first.
Sorry. Yeah, in Europe, both Paris and Bruges, everywhere. Well, what I would say, if possible, I'll get some pictures. They have little information in front of it as well. Potentially, like just be nice to say why the town council are doing it. It doesn't have to be anything big. I think it's just trying to show eco rather than just being plump. They're nicely.
Yes, thank you for that. Jeremy?
Yep, I agree. Previously with the surface, it looks like that looks too vulnerable. I don't know about that. That looks more substantial and let's somebody to get hold of. We'd say in terms of placing it under the eaves of the floor, public block. Yeah, we don't want like with the trees coming down.
And maybe why he's thinking of putting it on the other side away from all that sort of.
And it's a safer area. I mean, it's a large area people can congregate. It might be, I think that's well reversed. There's good footfall, I think, in that area.
So members generally agreed that we'll leave the location specifically just leave that to the man, to officers to put that out as they see fit. Our members, my apologies.
Just one quick thing.
Say yes.
We do largely because still money is less flexible than our own reserves.
Absolutely. Yeah. Well, thank you for that. Does that require a specific vote, or can we actually say that we add that into an amendment and agreed actions?
We'll need to just go on to FNGP as a recommendation because it's use of reserves.
Will that delay? Or is this just purely a budgetary item?
I could have a chat with the chairman of FNGP.
That doesn't have to be too far away. Chance.
We would have no problem with the expenditure being done in advance of F&GP meeting.
I think we could, members happy with the second of the two choices? Yeah. Okay. Not quite sure how we could work with some sort of plaque or some sort of plastic description of what it's there for. I'm not quite sure how we.
I'm just work.
Can I suggest that we ask the officers to have to consider a way of saying something as, you know, be part of our policy of eco friendliness.
Yeah.
I hate putting a plastic sign up saying we're very plastic friendly. You know,
I know someone use
perhaps a wooden plaque. I don't know, but shall we leave that to? Okay, so I would like to propose what we've just discussed is the second item, that the sale funds are used and that the location of that be left to the officers to be specific and work out about what may be suitable as far as notice of information. I propose Jeremy is seconded. All those in favour, members? Unanimous, there's no one against. That is perfect. Item 9. There is there's at least 2 receives on this to know and to oversee. Can I pass it on to you, Madam Clerk?
So the transmitted contract due to go out to tender. And the recommendation is that a working party be established to work with officers on finalising the paperwork and overseeing the tenders as they arrive. So I've draft suggested terms of reference here. Suggested membership of 4 and the quorum will be 3. It will get to work quite smoothly because we everything wrapped up to be agreed full council in January. Successful contract for 2 months. Themselves sorted out. The start 1st of April.
Yeah, I think this one's been on the radar for members for a little while now. The contract has come to an end and we're now looking to renew and refresh perhaps the contract as things go along. Are members happy? Well, first of all, to note, we'll have to vote on setting up a working party and in terms of reference, that will then go to full. Can we actually?
This can be done by.
Absolutely perfect. Now, who would normally be members of that? Would that be just members of the Recreation and Amenities Committee, or can that be open to, for example,
It can be open. Yeah,
what happened last time is what I'm hinting before.
Absolutely helpful if the members are on the committee that it reports to. Some of them are.
So do we have? What that might be there. Chairman.
Sorry.
Absolutely.
There's no response then.
So there's no other members willing to put their hands up at the moment, then I'll put my hand up. So that's okay with members. But I would like to extend the invitation to non-committee members who wish to take in that, because it does affect almost everything we do rounds.
Yeah.
Well, so that would be, we could ask at the next full council with volunteers. I think we've got a group meeting coming up in a couple of days, so I may try and get ahead of that one if possible. Right.
Could I also ask, Chair, that we ask every on the classification, in other words, numbers of collections per week in various locations, especially within their at the moment, whether we more, whether maybe too many, I don't know. It's going to be, we would need more because rubbish and
recycling as well.
Indeed. No.
Yeah. The chairman.
What on the topic, I mean, it's a major issue wherever you go. I know I was just thinking, maybe enlarging them. So keeping the number of collections the same.
Could we then, is it could we then committee invite the councillors to come forward, but come through the working party with this sort of information? Because otherwise we act as sort of like an unnecessary delay. So if members have suggestions, that they write them or contact the clerk and just their helpful suggestions, though they may not always be as helpful as they seem to start with. But I'm sure their intentions are at least helpful.
Just one question to the clerk for you. Bradley Moore Square. Is that are we emptying the ones actually around the shops?
Some Deal Varney,
Yes.
different company.
In that case, may I make a request to the clerk? The note that these are not being was everybody blames the council for that.
Norman Street's been emptied. Well, regularly now, which is good.
Okay. So I think we're going to vote on that we note that the contract has been expires, that we set up a working party. We have 3 volunteers and working party work weeks. Yes.
Can I just ask one question, Chair? That contract expires on the 3rd of January. We're talking about the new one starting on the 1st of April. What happens in the 3 months we're in, can I ask?
Hopefully, those are probably the period of the year where the least work is required, because no grass cutting or anything like that. So we are in discussions with local contractors. So we'll have an interim arrangement, and then the full contract will start 1st of April.
And I don't believe we foresee any problems with fulfilling that role for that period.
Our place team have had one meeting last week and another one tomorrow with contractors who are interested. I don't foresee a problem with that.
Yeah. So I'm quite happy to propose that as a course of action as described. We may have a second general. All those in favour, please raise your hands. That is unanimous. Thank you very much, everyone, for that. We seem to be cantering through it nicely this evening. Oh,
That's a three-legged horse now.
Okay. Good work progress reports. Again, back to you.
Thank you, Chairman. So this is just the report comes through on each to each meeting now, just updates on the decisions that committee have made. You'll see from the second page, lots have been completed. One of the outstanding are the Park and Stride at Dunstan Green. That was due to kick off with the things that I don't know whether it was or not. Councillor Jeffrey may have a
Yes. For very obvious reasons, I am in touch with this one. They think that they have completed the department stride. The term. So, I mean, the Easter term, when you get to Easter, and then is that the summer term?
Yes. Thank you very much for the one.
make a quick note. I can
Yeah, no, absolutely. There's no rush on that.
Meetings are imminent. Unfortunately, missed the school holidays, but they will run in any time soon. Conversations with the church about installing a couple of benches in the churchyard, but it's quite a considerable process gaining permission. It requires consultation and quite important on hold for the moment.
I believe they're setting up a staff committee within St. Louis Church, and they listen to people. I think there are two routes, as I have seen, chairman, lady, should I say. And there are two routes. One for the full inquiry, which is, or there may be a route they just ask the local. You can basically sometimes so deep. One of those is we wait the outcome of.
Well, let's hope it'll be the shortened version, because there's no point spending 20,000, a lot of money for a lot of time trying to put a bench in somewhere that's.
Well, again, perhaps we look for donations. I mean, there are a lot of benches on sponsored by families.
Yeah, I think it's more the opposite of time than I was taking to jump through from.
Funding's it's the process. It's time.
So we note that you're going as fast as reasonably be expected, so we say.
Yes.
And if you keep members up every 3 or 4 months, which will everyone's potentially. Judging by when the process isn't it take.
Just curious, would this not come under the wing of the town centre committee, really?
It's a church, you need permission from them.
To review it, I mean, it's just that's part of the.
Oh, you mean we can throw it to them? Yeah. Oh, excellent.
Vote that you would get a
All going, so even that wouldn't achieve.
Yeah, what do you think if it came about?
Okay, I would suggest that we keep our eyes on for the moment, and if it goes much past next April, May, then we consider it, because we can't spend lots of time and lots of effort if it's not going to be a positive outcome for it. We want.
Sure it will be.
Yes.
At the time of issuing the report, we were still awaiting the feedback update report from Newton Green, but we now have that, and I put that onto the full council agenda for this. We do now have costs. I have included in my report for you will meet him about the hedging on the Broadway, whether we want to replace it with hedging for. So, feedback on that.
Members of any? Was the hedging or the planting? Just initial feelings. Ben.
I like the idea of hedging because basically it's a barrier, a small building. Going out of the kids fest. So many young children all washing. Looking of a barrier. Very happy to listen to music.
So I would personally definitely go for hedging. The bedding plants are absolutely lovely. And then for about the last 3 months, they've almost been totally covered by leaves. Plus, obviously, they would need to be replaced every year as an ongoing cost, whereas this is want to use hedging. The hedging of some kind, I can't remember what the recommended one is, but it's certainly not box. Would be a one-off cost, albeit I would imagine slightly more than.
Thank you for that.
No, that's, as long as it's not the same one as a disease. We can't see what's going to be a new disease in the future.
We can do some,
That's horticulture for you, isn't it?
I was just going to say, Chairman, Councillor Cottam saying about the barrier, there is open wooden.
I just feel that it would enhance. It's just a single pole. It's not that absolute.
Bearing in mind the planting seasons for these things, is there any decision we need to make quite quickly on that, or?
Autumn.
Autumn's best.
Hedging would be all.
So we're now about to move into autumn.
Yeah,
planting.
I will, we'll get some advice on Wednesday, optimum.
The members seem to be leaning towards hedge, not large, overgrown, and it has to be well maintained. And
Yes. Wasn't there something about green rust?
Sorry,
Yes.
that was actually finished. The 9th of September, I think.
I believe that is the thing, it's not. Okay. Would that information be available? So should it be urgent? Or do you think that?
It's fine.
If it needs to be, just to make sure that we have the funding available so we can start the process and rather this needs to be done and do the normal process. I hear the idea of our administrative timetable sort of delays Mother Nature in its own timetable, if you see what I'm saying. Yes. I think we just received a note that we don't actually have to report on that. Thank you, members, for your input on that one. And now we're going to item 11, approval. And before I open it up to members, is there anything in here that's particularly raised your concerns as a clerk?
Nothing to highlight, Chairman.
Okay.
Just as one substantial item, obviously the made flooring limited. Are we? Need and we're happy.
What page number? Just
This page 5.
Okay, 3, 4. Right, got you. And what may be followed?
Yeah.
Modern technology?
Yeah.
I mean, yes, we are very happy with it. And so.
Question.
Yeah.
Scientific Council American each time.
Owen, you may think.
On 3484, Dynon evaluation. Where is the stone like the doing clearing? Then do 63
That is, clearing pipes from the Broadway toilets that we have.
one, is it?
Blockages,
So we've just got to think that's going to be an annual. What's it going to be? Thank you.
And then would you?
Just wondering where the asbestos in BW. Just wondering where. So,
sorry,
sorry, apologies for the on camera. 3486. As limited. It's Swindon asbestos. Again, it's one of those.
that was the flooring that was originally the word with asbestos in it, so it had to be specialist removed.
Definitely.
BW. That,
You know, so in future, won't we?
we are here to help with members and acronyms, it's not a problem.
Chairman, if I might go to the next one, we just run through those the carbon with the and so on and whatever. I know they're not very large sums, but I'm not actually understanding what they are. Probably need to.
Courses. So I'm not sure what that was, but
So these are actual training courses
training
that
course.
we've been sending staff on.
If you'll notice there was undertaking the carbon qualification.
Oh, excellent.
Wow.
Good.
Well, may I have one last one?
Of course.
Ian Page, some stick on there. 258 fans to expire. I mean, what's the weekly rate or the daily rate or whatever? It looks now.
It's felt right, I think.
I was thinking more the other way, that's very cheap. It's something.
That's quite recent, yeah. This is the one you'll go up to 350 400.
Perhaps perhaps.
We have it edited quarterly, so it's located at the cemetery and it's waste from the cemetery in the allotments, and it's edited quarterly. And the cost shared between the two sites.
People sitting around the council chamber this evening are saying 58 quid is a good price. Nobble it now, hang on to it. Yeah.
Was that perhaps would you know if members were what sort of things are we putting in? Is it green waste? Is it?
Yes, so a lot of the waste from the cemetery is green waste. But it does then get sorted when it goes to the depot. Usually things are left on for people.
And is this our half of that allotment cost, or will it come under? You said the cost was split between the two headings.
Yes, so that is that would be 120 whatever
Yeah.
per site 4 times a year.
Okay. So if that helps members.
Yeah, it is.
Okay. And especially if we're going to be recycling as much as most of the centres where these go to, they're very keen on sorting out. I'm sure you've been to the Newbury ones. Super keen on splitting everything up, and there's very little
segregation
for members. Is there any other questions on the approvals? If not, I'd like to propose that we accept them. Can I have a seconder, please? Mark, wonderful. You were like lightning then getting your hand there, mate. Well done. Seconding. All those in favour? Thank you. And it's at this point that we have to ask for the exclusion of the press and public to resolve that in the view of the commercial sensitivity note of the businesses. It is a public interest that the press and the public be temporarily excluded, and that they started to withdraw, and that will mean switching off our YouTube channel.
So proposed, Chairman.
Yes, I will second that. All those in favour, please, members. Thank you, and good night.